One of the ongoing issues right now, Legacy Fort Wayne. What do we do with the light lease settlement funds? Any thoughts from you on that?
Well, you know, we got so much money on hand right now, and then the other half will be dispersed to us over a 15-year period of time. So I think with what we do have on hand, we may want to put some of that into, let's say, a cookie jar, so we can have some set aside for us. We may want to look at, paying some debt off, but I think that we also need to look into expanding the companies that we can expand and help any new companies grow, so that way we can create more jobs, and also that it creates more revenue for the city too, so that way we can look at maybe eventually, working on paying some of the debt that the city does have.
Mm-hmm. Would you be interested, or would you be for taking some of that money and putting it towards some of the CSO, the consent decree work on the combined sewer overflow? Would you be in favor of taking some of it, kind of lessen the burden on the ratepayer?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would, just so that way it could lessen the burden.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other thoughts? Would you steer the money towards economic development projects?
I think that's best for. I think that's the best way for it to be spent, wherever we can create opportunities. I feel like the city job is to create opportunities for the people of the city. So I would definitely want to steer it more towards economic development, so that way we can create opportunities for the people. We create job growth, so that we keep people here in our city, and we got to also use that money to keep our city attractive. Not only do we want to keep it attractive for the people of Fort Wayne, we want to keep it attractive for future citizens of Fort Wayne. We want to be able to attract people to our city. So let's look at using that money towards economic development and keeping our city attractive. As far as even whether it's potholes, whatever it may be, whether it's putting up another park here, just making our city look pretty, making it look good, and giving people opportunities, giving people a reason to want to be in Fort Wayne. I mean, we have a great city. Mm-hmm. Let's keep it great, and we have some extra money to spend on enhancing our community, enhancing our city. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. When we're talking about economic development, what does economic development mean to you?
As we were talking about it, one of the things that I think, one thing I've been mentioning is that I want to do is, or I want to see done is, entrepreneur club. And what that consists of is, it consists of, me, and I have talked to several other business owners who wouldn't mind helping out, where we start a club. It's open to anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur or have ever thought about starting a business. One of the easiest things to do is to come up with an idea. So what we do is we have them write out the list of ideas that they want to do. Now the hardest thing to do is to follow through with that idea. So what we do is we try to narrow it down to one specific idea. What we do is then we have them write a business plan out. And then after they write the business plan out, what we do is we give them some kind of business of some sort to run for a 2-3 month period. So that way they can understand the logistics of running the business. And then when they're done with that, what they do is they rewrite that business plan. Now that they have run the business for 2-3 months, they can see some of the problems that they couldn't see before they had ran the business. So then we have them rewrite it, and then we see we see what we can do to help them push forward that idea that they had. Mm-hmm. So that way we help create jobs, and we make another person a business owner. We create more businesses for the city. So what that does is it creates more opportunity for the city, and then it also creates more opportunity for the people that live in the city.
Kind of expands your tax base, is
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Does would you include things like sidewalks, street repairs, improvements, resurfacing, things like that? Would you include that in kind of those basic infrastructure needs? Would you include that in economic development as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that the city does a pretty good job right now of pursuing companies and offering tax abatements and things like that?
I think they do, but no matter what we do, it can always be done better. No matter what field you're in, even the field that I'm in, there's going to always be somebody that's better than me. It's always something to learn, and everything is always a growing process. So I think we do an okay job, but as I just said, everything can be done better. So,
City council is the fiscal body for the city. They kind of sign off on. They don't necessarily create the spending,
Right.
but they certainly sign off on approving it. How do you view that function? Do you think that a pretty good job is done now? Is there something that can be done better?
I think it's a good job done now. For anybody to run for any kind of elected position, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. I think we have some good team. We have a good team now. So I think they would do a good job. I don't want to take any shots at anybody or anything like that. I think they do an okay job. But as I said, no matter what it is, it can always be done better.
So let's kind of wrap up here a little bit and talk to me a little bit about, and you kind of have alluded to some of it a little bit, but let's kind of bring it together and talk about what you would hope to accomplish. Where you would go from here.
From here today, or
well, from if you were elected, let's say you win the primary and you go into November and you're elected.
Well, after the November election, as I told you, my main focus is being a voice for the people, being the people's representative, being their liaison, making sure that their voice can be heard. That's my main focus. As we talked about, as anything is presented before the council, I want to make sure I vote in favor for what the people want. I mean, that's the main issue. That's what I want to focus on, and seeing whatever I can do in my own personal life, or even as a project outside of city council, to keep thriving the city. I think being a city council rep, sometimes we got to look on beyond that. What can we do as an individual to keep our city growing and keep it moving? And that's why whether I win or lose, the Entrepreneur Club is something that I definitely want to start, because it's about growing the city, whether I'm on city council or whether I'm not on city council. I mean, this is a city that I love and I care for. So
the question that I have, a lot of the different circles that I travel in, people that I talk with, how engaged do you think the minorities in Fort Wayne are with the government?
I think it could be a better job being done, and that's one of the things me myself, as considered to be a minority, as I want to focus on. I want to make sure we do a better job as let minorities know what's going on, bring them to the table, so that way they can be a part of it, so when they feel a part of what's going on, and some of the decision making progress that's going on in the city. So I mean, I think it could be a better job being done as bringing them to the table and letting them know what's going on and making them feel a part of what's going on as far as city government goes.
Sure. Anything else we didn't talk about that maybe you'd want to mention, or any thoughts?
Make sure you vote for me on May 3rd.
Okay. Well, Ivan, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.